What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. We got a good one Saturday night. We got A&M going on the road, getting 6.5 points currently at Notre Dame. The over-under set to 50.5. Let's talk a little A&M football here, and a team that I'm really high on this year. I did sprinkle a little bit of money this season for them to win the SEC. We'll see what happens here. Why, though? I'm a big Mike Elko guy. I like the fact that he's a defensive-minded coach. They are 2-0, though. Wins over UTSA and Utah State. Offensively, one of my favorite players in the country, man. I don't think he gets enough love. Is Marcel Reed. Like this kid a lot. It reminds me of kind of like a Jalen Milroe, but he's got a better arm. And who else would I compare him? Probably like a Lenora Sellers of South Carolina. If you guys seen this kid play, pretty damn good. Reed isn't quite as big as Sellers is. Sellers looks like a bodybuilder out there. But Reed, man, super athletic, can make plays with his feet, been improving as a passer. He's put up nice numbers so far. He's got over 500 yards, 7 touchdowns to go along with over 100 yards on the ground. Believe it or not, though, he is A&M's leading rusher, which is a little concerning because Le'Veon Moss is back there. And I know he's coming off that injury from last season, but he was having a really good year. We'll see kind of what happens here. Now, I want to talk about this. Yes, the wins over UTSA and Utah State, I don't really, when these bigger teams play some of these, group of 5 schools, I really don't care whether you win 73-10 or 28-10. I don't, as long as your team didn't get hurt, everybody's healthy. That's usually the big thing for me personally. I know some people really love when you beat somebody 68-0 like my Huskers did last week. I don't get much out of that. And I really don't know what to take out of, A&M beating the hell out of these two schools. Now, they did give up 20-plus points here, though, which is a little concerning because if you guys know Mike Elko and his time at Duke, he's a big defensive guy. That's where he makes his money there is on defense. But I'm gonna trust in Mike Elko. Like I said, I do believe A&M this year will have a better defense than last season. At times last year, they couldn't get off the field on third down. That was a huge problem last year with A&M. They're always talented. They got some really good players on this defense as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up here with Notre Dame's offense because their offense is a little bit different than what it was the previous couple of seasons. So let's talk Notre Dame. They're 0-1. If you guys watched it, it was one of the better games week 1. Actually, it might have been the best game. That Miami-Notre Dame game, in my opinion, that night was one of the best games of the weekend. Notre Dame lost that game, 27-24. I did have Miami +3. I was very concerned in the second half when Notre Dame scored, I think, 2 touchdowns there to cut that game. I think it was tied or they were down by 3 at one point there. Notre Dame came roaring back. Let's talk about C.J. Carr here. Look, he played better than what I expected, honestly. Like, he did. Like, the 19 for 30 for 221 and 2 touchdowns. He did have the one costly INT that was batted up in the air. I was pretty impressed with the kid to make his first ever start on the road at Miami. That's a pretty hostile environment, especially when Miami has a lot of hype behind them like they do this season. The only problem I had, and I know people are talking about it, but it was very obvious, when you have Jeremiah Love, who, in my opinion, might be the best back in the country. If not, he's 2 or 3. I don't care how you want to rank him. They didn't run the ball with him the first half. They came out throwing the ball, which was odd. I know you want to get Carr going, and I get all that. But Jeremiah Love is really, really good. Really good. He will be playing on Sundays next year. Run the ball with the guy. They didn't do that hardly at all. To be honest, they gave him 4 or 5 carries in the first half. The second half, when Notre Dame started mounting that comeback, Carr did play better. Don't get me wrong. He did look a lot better in the second half, but a lot of that was because they established the run. Love made some huge plays, some big runs, and then he starts hurdling people, which is, that guy's ridiculously athletic. But they did mount that comeback, and it was like, man, you guys should have been pounding Love the majority of the game. I mean, he's a workhorse back. Get in the ball, dude. I don't know what was going on there. Jadarian Price, his backup, really good too. That guy would start on 99.9% of the teams in the country. He's a really good back. So Notre Dame, I expect to come out here and try to pound the ball, especially at home against A&M, who did give up like 230 yards rushing their first week to UTSA. You can take that with a grain of salt and say what you will, but man, I would be pounding the ball here if I'm Notre Dame. Now, defensively, Notre Dame did lose some pieces last year off that really, really good defense. Marcus Freeman, one thing I love about him, they play a smash mouth style of football, which what I mean by that is they run the ball, play really great defense. I think Notre Dame's going to have a really good defense again this year. I think they get better as the year goes on. I do think they'll end up being a top 10 unit again. So They played, you know what? They played pretty damn well against Miami. I think people are really overlooking how good this Miami team is, especially offensively. I talked about this on the I-80 boys the other day. Miami's offensive line, dude, is literally NFL offensive lineman. 6'6", 350 average, best O-line in the country. I don't even think it's really close. You can debate me down in the comments on that. Carson Beck had all day back there, and Carson Beck is pretty much a statue-type quarterback, which is rare these days. I don't really care who Miami's playing. I'd be shocked if anybody can sack Carson Beck this season. Honestly, that offensive line for Miami is really good. So I don't, go, oh my God, Notre Dame can't get any pressure. Their defense is terrible. No, I thought they did a good enough job in that game. They actually slowed down Miami's offense in the second half. They did put that, long drive together at the end there. But I don't take a lot away from that. Like I said, Miami's a really good football team, especially up front. So with that being said, how am I betting this game? Well, I'm going to mention one thing here, and this might piss off the Notre Dame fans, but look, who needs this game more? Now, I brought this up as well the other day. When you look at Notre Dame, they need this game. You guys, and this is, I know, a real touchy topic here for Notre Dame fans. The fact that they don't play in a conference, you lose this game, I don't think you're getting into the playoffs if you're Notre Dame. That's 2 losses. You play in no conference. You don't have a conference title game. The rest of the schedule, they got USC on there, and they got a couple other teams. But, Notre Dame got a pretty brutal schedule the first 2 games of the year here. They got to go 1-1 out of this. So they need this game. I think, in my opinion, a lot of pressure here at home to win this one. Mike Elko, he could afford to drop this game. Not that they want to, and I'm not saying they're going to. But they have a whole SEC schedule ahead of them. And they can potentially, we saw what Clemson did last year, right? They lost 3 games in the regular season, but still qualified to make the ACC title game. They end up winning it, and they got in, and SMU. Notre Dame, on the other hand, I think a 10-2 Notre Dame team does not get into the playoffs. I really, truly believe that. We'll see what happens at the end of the year if they would happen to drop this game. But as far as my pick goes, and I wanted to throw that out there real quickly, as far as my pick goes, look, A&M's getting 6.5 here, which looks great. I think Notre Dame wins this game. As far as the spread goes, I'm leaning right now. I haven't bet it. A&M plus 6.5 currently. I want to kind of see what this number does. If I can get a touchdown here, I'd feel better. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. As far as the over-under goes, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I know a lot of smart bettors, sharps, are on the over here. I am not one of those people. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But I think this will be a lower-scoring game. If you guys remember last year, this game was, 23-13, I think was the final. Notre Dame scored at the end. It was a really good football game. I expect this kind of to be the same way. Grind it out. Both teams trying to run the ball. Whoever makes a couple explosive plays here, I think, wins this. I really do. And I think that's going to be probably Notre Dame when it comes to just straight who wins this game. I think Notre Dame's got to get this one. They are at home, too. A&M has looked good so far offensively, but I'm a little concerned about the defense. And the fact that C.J. Carr here, who I thought played, I have to give him credit, not a big Notre Dame fan, but the fact that he went out on the road, and I thought he played pretty damn good for his first ever start on the road here. He's at home. I think he'll play better. I think they're going to pound the ball with Love and Price, and Notre Dame closes this one out. It might come down to a field goal, 6 points, something like that, but that's where I'm at on this one, guys. With that being said, I'll drop a couple more videos this week. By the way, I'm starting up this new channel since my other one had issues with the email address. Please subscribe. Give this a thumbs up if you agree. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree or agree. Let me know who you guys are taking in this one. This should be a really good football game. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you next time.